Welcome to the Business Leadership Series, where we engage with leaders who are making an impact on their worlds and who want to share their knowledge and experience for your personal and professional growth. The following interview is designed to inspire you to become the best leader you can be. Your host, Derek Champagne, is the founder and CEO of The Artist Evolution, a full-service agency building successful brands, marketing tools, and campaigns, and also the author of the best-selling book, Don't Buy a Duck. And now, let's begin today's Leadership Series interview.
Welcome to the Business Leadership Series, where our goal is to inspire you to become the best leader that you can be. I want to thank you for joining us today. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, EcoVet Furniture, made in the USA, which is really cool. Actually made right here in Northwest Arkansas, but deliver across the country. And if you are looking for one-of-a-kind furniture that makes a statement, in our conference room, we have a conference table that was deconstructed from an 18-wheeler. So the steel truss is the base of the table. It's repurposed wood from the trailer. And it's a really bold piece that's nice. It's made by veterans. So repurposed wood, made by veterans, made in the USA. They're on samsclub.com as well, but you can contact them at ecovetfurniture.com for some of their unique pieces that they have too. So our guest today, George Maloof, the one and only, is actually in the studio. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thank you very much. It's great to be here. Yeah, I saw that desk. Pretty incredible.
It's really cool. Hey, we are excited to have you today. You've done some really cool things, and I'll let you share some of them. Your name is well known to a lot of people out there. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm originally from Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's where I grew up. Ended up going to college in Las Vegas, Nevada, and spent a lot of time there. When I graduated, actually when I was a small boy, I got really interested in casinos. Living in Albuquerque, my father and my mother would visit Las Vegas, and I'd come with them. And I just loved the nightlife and thought someday I could own a casino in Las Vegas. So that was kind of my goal. And my dad died at a young age when I was 16. So I was still in high school. And then I got out of high school and went to school at UNLV and kind of hung out in casinos at that time. Even though I wasn't 21, don't tell anybody. And
nobody will hear this. We're okay.
Nobody will hear this. Kind of learned how to play the games and understand the games. At the same time, I was playing football. I was going to school, and told my brothers when I got out of school, let's invest some money in a piece of land in North Las Vegas, which is just north of Las Vegas, to build a locals casino. And we put our money together, borrowed a bunch of money, finally got our financing, and built what is now called the Fiesta 26 years ago. Wow. And so we opened that. And then as time progressed, we had another casino in Colorado, and then we opened the Palms 15 years ago. And the Palms is just right off the strip on Flamingo Road. And when we opened up, right after September 11th, we hired about 800 people that had gotten laid off because of September 11th. Vegas got hit really hard.
Yeah.
And so we hired about 800 of those, total of 2,000 employees. And, a lot of people didn't give us a chance, and we just built the right things for the market, and the hotel just took off. And we were the first property to ever use television to promote a casino. Yeah. It was usually taboo not to have television in casinos.
Okay.
So we brought on the Real World. Yep. They were going to do an episode. I found out they were looking at Las Vegas. I called the producers, brought them in right before we finished the construction of the hotel, and they were perfect. And they showed us. And this was back when the Real World was real popular.
Yeah, right.
So they did Real World Las Vegas from my casino at the Palms.
You were on it. I remember back in the day. That was.
Yeah, I was on it a couple times. I tried to stay off of it, and we had two rules: no drugs, and everybody had to be over 21. Yeah. So do whatever you want. I didn't. I wasn't there every day. Trying to manage the produce it or anything.
And you even have the Real World Suite.
We still have the Real World
ridiculous.
Suite.
Give us a couple highlights of that.
Well, it's a great suite. It's the actual suite that the 7 kids lived in during the Real World. at that time, which was 15 years ago. It's exactly to the to the shade. Everything, we added TVs is about the only thing, but the requests that we get for that suite is incredible. And have you guys
seen that suite? I feel like it was an infinity pool.
Yeah, well, the infinity pool, that was a whole separate add-on that we did. But the Real World Suite just had so much nostalgia, character, because that's where they lived. So at that time, a lot of people that were watching the Real World were celebrities, like Leonardo DiCaprio, Britney Spears. I can name a lot more, and they loved that suite. So when they would come in town, they would stay in the suite. So we kind of got a lot of publicity, not only about the suite, but about the people that were staying in the suite. Okay. So we were the first casino that really let the cameras in the casino. And from there, people thought, instead of spending millions of dollars on advertising, this kid is spending nothing, and he's getting all this publicity because these celebrities are coming into the hotel. And that kind of fueled the brand and helped us create a great place.
You did. That's awesome. You did something I read about you about your customer service. You had your cell number, and it was 24-hour a day access.
Well, what I did when we had the first, after we'd hired all of the employees, we had about 2,000, and we had 3 sets of meetings with the employees, about 70, whatever 2,000 divided by 3 is. And I would speak, and at the end of my speech, I'd say, okay, if you have an issue, you can come to me. I'd appreciate it if you go through your supervisor, go through the chain of command, which I believe in. But if there's a problem, here's my cell number. And I'd give the cell number to all my employees. They didn't abuse it over time. I mean, I'd get some calls, when they weren't being treated fairly. So it was very accessible, and I did the same thing with my guests. If they had a problem and I was on the floor, and couldn't resolve it, or if they knew they could get my cell number, and I'd call it, and they could call it any time, 24 hours a day. We're open 24/7.
Awesome.
And I would take care of the problem. And, most of it is people just want to hear you. They want to listen. They want you to listen. That's about 99% of complaints. You handle them by just listening and not talking, and let them get through it and let them vent. And then you can usually fix it. Unless they're drunk. If they're drunk, it's a whole different thing. Then you kind of got to go, okay. Right. You listen, and then the next morning they call you and they usually apologize. So
you probably got a few late night calls.
Yeah, a few late. If it was past, they usually say nothing happens good at past 12. In Vegas, it's past 2.
Okay.
We're open all night. So
that's awesome. I'm sure you've got some stories that we won't even ask you to get into. I can't even imagine. I know you catered to so many celebrities, and that was and is a very popular place. Hey, you kind of brushed over playing football,
right?
But you played for UNLV, didn't you?
Played for UNLV, right? Yeah, played in the late mid '80s. Randall Cunningham. We had some good players on our team. I played with Suge Knight. Suge Knight was my locker mate, believe it or not. Yeah, and he was a great player. He went on to he and Dr. Dre formed Death Row Records, but he was my locker mate in college, and we became friends and stayed in touch, throughout the years. He's in a little trouble now, but anyway. But I played football there. It was a great experience. It was a little different playing in Las Vegas, but great experience.
Wow. So you guys, you've got an iconic family,
right?
Your sister's on a show, or was on a show as well? Yeah,
she was on a show. Yeah. She called me about 8 years ago, out of the blue. And she lives in L.A. Excuse me. She lives in L.A. She has 3 children. Gives me a call and said, "I'm going to be on the Beverly Hills Housewives." And I said, "Are you crazy?" She says, "No, I want to be on that show." And I think at the time there was only one other show. I think it was New York or something.
Okay.
And so I go, let me watch the show, because I had never watched it before. So I watched it, called her up. I said, absolutely not.
Yeah, right.
She goes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So obviously she's the boss. I said, okay. So she was on 3 years.
Yeah.
It was a good experience for her. I didn't really watch too many episodes. I couldn't watch them. But it was she enjoyed it. And Andy Cohen, who's the producer, one of the producers, was great. And 3 years was enough for her. They wanted her to stay a lot longer, but that was enough. And she goes on every now and then as a guest.
Okay.
So you'll see Adrian every now and then. But
So your family has been in the spotlight a lot. You cater a lot of celebrities. You've just had a lot going on. Tell me, how do you stay grounded? How do you stay focused? And we're going to talk about your product in a few minutes. But
okay.
You're killing it with what you're doing, this
Right,
line of
never
products you
hungover.
have, and you're very focused on it. And I mean, you're here working right now.
Right.
And tell me, what gives you your focus with all the things, your background, your past, and all the success that you've had? How do you stay focused and do so well with the kind of product you have now?
Well, we've been in all kinds of businesses. We've been in professional sports. We own the Sacramento Kings for almost 19 years. We find businesses that we like, and we throw our passion into it, and that's it. So if you like something, you're going to work hard at it. And if you can apply general stuff that works for your for any business, like taking care of your customer, simple things, keeping, like I just tell our employees at the hotel, keep the property clean, smile a lot, just simple things, and that transforms into different businesses as long as you have a good product,
right?
And as long as you care. And so this never hungover product, never too hungover product, is an extension of things that we've done in the past from a service perspective, and we're real proud of it. And
let's talk more about that. You're here, and again, our listeners are in other places as well, but you're here in Northwest Arkansas. We're headquarters of Sam's Club and Walmart. Headquarters are both here in this area. And so you're doing a distribution. You've got a distribution deal with Sam's Club.
Right. They're giving us an opportunity to test the product in 50 stores across the country.
Cool. Okay.
So that's why we're here.
Sold more than 2 million bottles while carrying out the leading hangover prevention category in the United States.
Yeah, we've actually sold 2.5 million bottles.
Wow. Okay.
We're in GNCs across the country.
Okay.
Vitamin Shop. We're only in 5 states right now, but those 2 counts are across the country, which gives us a lot of credibility.
Yeah.
The product does work. It keeps you from getting a hangover. It helps you recover from a hangover. It's all natural. It has some great vitamins, and it's just a good product. And it's real hot right now because people are looking for healthy alternatives to some of the different products that are out there now.
Yeah.
So
why this product? What do you love about this one?
Well, I'll tell you, we like it because it works, number one. Number two, my sister, who I mentioned earlier, she'll just drink the product because of the vitamins. It has milk thistle, potassium, vitamin B, aloe vera. The milk thistle helps your kidneys and helps your liver. So when you drink, that's what messes up your liver. Okay. This helps come in and cleanse your liver, the milk thistle, and it makes you feel refreshed the next day. I get a lot of people that tell me, I drink it and I can get up the next day and go to work. Instead of before, I had a hard time going to work. Okay. So we have 2 different types of flavors. One, it's called Prevention, which you drink before you drink or while you drink, and that helps you wake up and feel good the next day. It's the 3.5 ounce bottle, and then we have one called Boost that has double the caffeine and double the B12. So if you already have a hangover, this helps you recover from a hangover. Okay. So that product we just introduced about 6 months ago, and it's been on fire. Okay. So we have 2 products. They have the same type of ingredients. One has caffeine, and one has very, very little caffeine, if not any. And
so GNC's nationwide, and then
GNC's
50 Sam's stores right now.
Right now. So that's what we're doing here in Fayetteville, and we'll have a 4-day show here and sell as much product as we can, and hopefully, we can work with Sam's Club in the future and doing as many stores as possible.
So tell me, that's exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Really cool. I've got a few more questions for you. Tell me, what was your journey to get to Sam's?
It was a long journey, actually. We started probably 2 years ago, and then we met Clarissa Clark, who's actually lives here in Fayetteville, who works on different products for Sam's Club. Met her about a year ago, and just started the process of, working with Clarissa and testing different, we tested 20 stores in Dallas, Houston, and Austin. We're testing in Las Vegas. We've tested about 15 stores in California.
Okay.
And so what they do is they put what's called a road show, and they put, you go for 4 days and you just do the best you can, and then it's up to them. It's not up to us. And hopefully we've impressed them, and it's a new product, and it's something refreshing, and we think it's going to be huge and very popular, and it works. At the end of the day, it works.
Yeah, I like how strategic you're being with the test stores, and I'm sure that Sam's is a part of that.
Oh, yeah.
We interviewed Karen Posada. She was on Shark Tank, and she actually got ripped up on Shark Tank. And she was in, it's called The Good Promise, some natural products. She was in 400-something Sam's or 400-something Walmart stores.
Wow.
And was told she could pick where she wanted to go. And she said, well, let's go in 400.
Wow.
And she ended up, after a 4-year journey, something like that, and a lot of money lost, finally ended up pulling back and scaling to, I think, 50 stores.
Really? Wow.
And so when we dug in with her in an interview was the lesson she learned the opposite way of having too much too soon and wishing that she had done a better job testing. So
testing
I like
is
that.
It's where it's at, because we've, you don't hit a home run in every store.
Right.
But we've come pretty close. So, but there's areas where, maybe it doesn't work as well, but so far so good. And, we'll listen and
is that something you're testing with Sam's? You guys work together on that?
Yeah, we work together. They'll get all of our numbers, and they'll look at, the stores that we were at, and how many businesses from, that actually buy the product and put it into their business versus just a retail customer that walks in and buys a 12-pack. So it's very, we like the way they do it, because it's, it's concentrated, it's focused. It's not just go in 400 stores and see how you do. The price point is very important. The packaging is important, how many bottles you have in each package. And now we get to test all that, and someday we'll be in the stores that we need to be in, and it'll work.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations again for the Sam's deal. Got a few more questions for you. I'd love to talk to you about. I know I read something about your early days and learning the value of hard work. Tell me about that early time for you.
It was real early, I'll tell you that. When I was 10,
I love hearing stories like that because that stays with you to today.
Well, it does. You remember things that you did when you were young. My father had a Coors beer distributorship in New Mexico.
Okay.
So that's how I got started in working, and I would work every summer. I'd work during time off, Christmas vacation, Easter vacation, and we would work in what's called a repack room. So you take all the bottles, and they're only bottles, and you put them into a case, and then you tape it up, and then you put it on the truck.
Okay.
And then sometimes back then there really wasn't child labor laws, so we could go in the liquor store and build displays, and I was there 6:30 in the morning to 6:30 at night.
10 years old?
10 years old. I loved it, and it was just something. It wasn't forced on me by my mom. I remember, and she didn't sleep much, but I remember waking her up and saying, "Can you take me to work?" There it is, 5:30 in the morning. She's going, "This is summer," But
in the summertime?
Yeah, I worked all summer, and then
That's great.
And then that progressed. My father died when I was 16, and he had just built a hotel in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I just started working there. And that's how I got my background with hotels. And but never been afraid to work, look forward to work. And with this type of, being in the hospitality business is a service business, so you have to have a thick skin.
Yeah.
Because you get complaints, and you can't take it personally. You have to fix the complaint, fix it. If there's something wrong, something's irritating somebody, if you have a guest that is irritated, you fix it, and you don't, you do it now. So that's a lot of what's, just a mentality that I've had is, if something's broke, fix it now. If something works, let that work, and spend your money on what works, and if something doesn't work, forget about it and move on. Because sometimes you try too hard on things that don't make you money and focus on the things that do. So,
I mean, you've obviously got an impressive resume. You're a very successful businessman. You pick the right products. One of the things that stands out the most to me, again, though, is how connected you were with the Palms and how you put yourself. You were the brand at the Palms.
You had to be. Somebody had to be. It was kind of the old school. There's a few operators that, Vegas went corporate at a certain point years ago, where the big corporations came in and bought, and there was a few guys that hung on, like Steve Wynn, who's a brilliant human being and just probably has done more for Las Vegas than anybody. And there are a few others, Michael Gahn and Sheldon Adelson, that, kind of old school entrepreneurs that stay in the hotel, understand the gaming part of it. Yeah. They're there all the time. They're accessible 24/7. If there's a decision that needs to be made, you can make it. You deal with thousands of employees, and there's always an issue with an employee, and the challenge is how you deal with it, because they're not always in a good mood when they go to work.
Right.
And it's not fairyland. You're dealing with people's lives and their children, and so you have to manage all that. And I kind of looked at myself as kind of being a concierge, because. Your customers ask for things, and you're always on call. And if you don't have that in you, if you can't service people, then that's not the business for you. But servicing people, it takes. You have to eat a little crow sometimes, and but you can't be afraid to work, and can't be afraid to help people when they need help, and to sell your product. You always have to sell your product. It's a constant thing.
And part of that is giving good customer service.
Yeah, and coming up with new products and new ideas, and that's always very important as well.
As successful as you've been, you've never lost that servant concierge approach, which is really important to remember.
I can't.
That's awesome. That's great. And that's probably one of the things that keeps you so grounded too. That's amazing. Hey, tell me, you've done all these really cool things. You've got what are you most proud of that you've done?
Probably when we opened the Palms, I have a lot of things I'm proud of. But I think when we opened the Palms, it was 60 days after September 11th. The country was in a tailspin. Vegas was they laid off 40,000 employees out of, 20% of the workforce in Las Vegas got laid off.
Okay.
Or I don't know if it was 40, but it was close to that. And then we open up 60 days later, and we kind of put, it was kind of a refreshing thing for Las Vegas, because we were able to hire a lot of people that got laid off, because we were hiring 2,000 people, because it was something new. And I think looking back at everything I've done, that was the biggest charge for me, and being able to say, I've provided 2,000 people with jobs and their family with jobs, and so that's probably it.
Cool.
That one.
With everything you've done, is there anything on your bucket list that you haven't tried or haven't done that you have out there that you want to get to?
I'm sure there's things that are out there that we want to do, and I work closely with my brothers and my family, and we're always looking at opportunities. You got to be careful. You can kind of be your own Shark Tank, because so many people call you up and have ideas, and it's hard to turn people down, and it's hard to turn down ideas because you don't know if they're going to work or not, and you never want to be left out.
Right.
But at the same time, you want to focus on what you think is core business, things that you know about, things that you understand. So that's kind of a challenge for us at times, to stay focused on what we know, and but we're always looking for opportunities, and we don't have to work, but we enjoy working, and we enjoy employing people. That's the thing that gives me the biggest rush.
Nice. So how do you stay focused when you've got a new product you're launching, and that's your role? How do you keep from getting distracted with all the other opportunities?
Well, that's just it. If you have too many opportunities, you don't stay focused, and we've made that mistake. I'll tell you. Now we tell, as a family, my brothers and my sister, we say, look, we have a great product. Let's stay focused on it. Let's build a company. Let's build a brand. Let's kind of put blinders on a little bit to other things, unless something comes along that's just that we have to look at. But on this particular product, that's where we are today, and we're going to focus on it. We're going to make it big, and and because it works. If it didn't work, we wouldn't be wasting our time. But online we'll sell, last month we sold X amount of thousands online, which means that people are using it and they want to use it again. I know a bartender in Las Vegas that she buys a $750 a week, and because it comes in a 750 milliliters, and she buys one of those every week, and she swears by it, and she says, I wouldn't be able to drink without it. I'm thinking to myself, you must be drinking every day. She says, no, I just drink it. I do drink, but I just drink it, during the week, and it became habit forming for me, for the vitamins.
Okay. So someone as successful as you, and you do all these things, you've obviously got some peaks and you've got some valleys, like anyone that does amazing things. When you're in the valleys, what's your perspective? Because you've done some amazing things. And when you're in those valleys, what's your mindset and how do you get out of it?
Well, I try to figure out how quick I can get over to Hoover Dam.
You are pretty close, aren't you?
Pretty close.
That's right.
You just got to stay even. Really, you just have to stay even. It's not. You can't wake up and just because you've sold 100 cases and celebrate, or if you didn't sell 100 cases, you're in a bad mood. I just learned that in business, if you have a good product, you have people that help and that are focused, that aren't out partying and doing crazy things, that you're gonna be successful. So you got to look at the long term.
Right.
So the ups and downs, I just look long term, and I've been through so many of them that it doesn't affect me anymore. It really doesn't.
You've learned over the years.
Yeah,
because of mistakes in the past.
Stay even, and have good people help you out.
That's awesome. I got a few more questions for you. Some of our group on Facebook had some questions. Define leadership from your perspective. What does that look like to you?
Leadership is not being afraid. Leadership is giving good direction all the time. Leadership is making decisions. You have to make decisions, good or bad. Leadership is sometimes having to jump in there yourself and fix a problem quick. Leadership is bringing people up when they need to be up, slowing them down a little bit when they get too out there. I mean, we love positive people, but if they become over positive or over, you have to put them in their place sometimes. So leadership is a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, it's a focus on making your product better and your people better.
Yeah, you're very customer focused. You focus on taking care of your people. You got a cool servant leadership style that we don't see all the time. I really like that. Another question: what action have you or direct reports taken recently that was transformative to your customers?
I think bringing out, in this particular instance, bringing out this boost. My brother Joe, actually, my older brother Joe, about a year ago, we started working on this. The original product was called Prevention, and that just sold. And then he came up with the idea, which was brilliant, of coming up with a second product that had caffeine, because this had limited caffeine, and this is before you drink, and this is kind of after you drink. Okay. So the boost is something that helped transform our customers, helped give them another option, and it's worked brilliantly.
That's cool. I see that. Tell us a little bit about the backstory.
Well, it's a great story. The founder who we bought the company from, he's still our partner. 4 years ago, his sister had lupus and was going through all these treatments. A doctor came up with this holistic formula, which is, ended up being Never Too Hungover, and was giving it to her, and it helped her through the process of healing her. So one day, Parrish Whitaker, who's my partner, he's from Dallas, decided that he wanted to go out and have a few drinks. Well, he had drank some of the formula that he was giving his sister, because he read the ingredients, and he said, well, that milk thistle probably sounds good for a hangover, and aloe vera probably sounds good, and that potassium sounds good, that vitamin B12 sounds good. Let me try a drink of this, and I'll go out and have fun. So he went out and had fun, and he woke up the next day, felt great. He said, maybe let me try it on my friends. So then he tried it on a bunch of his friends, and then he came up with the concept The name changed a little bit when we took over, and we changed the packaging. But that's the story. I mean, it started at just helping somebody that never really drank, and just so you don't have to drink. It's just all great vitamins, and it's sugar free, and it's gluten free. So
tell me about some of your marketing strategy. But what are you guys doing with social media?
Well, social media is always tough. I mean, there's different things you try and you try and you try. We've done a lot of YouTube stuff. Yeah. We can improve in social media. That's something in 2017. Even though we're selling a lot online. I mean, it's just incredible. We think that we can sell 10 times as much online. Yeah. So we're in the process of developing a really good social media and online sales for 2017, like everybody else is. Right. But we're really going to be focused on it.
What's worked best for you with this 2.5 million sold? What's been the biggest driver for traffic?
A lot of it's sampling. A lot of it is being in the right area of the store, the visibility. So if you're in a convenience store, you want to be on the counter. You don't want to be hidden. Right. So a lot of it's getting in the store and then positioned in the right place in the store. Right. It's just like what we're going through with Sam's Club right now. Sometimes it works better closer to the front door. Sometimes it works better near the liquor store. We try to be near liquor areas and liquor stores. Okay. But positioning for this brand, positioning is the whole thing. Yeah. So once you get in the store, it's where you're located, because a lot of it is impulsive buying. Right. They haven't heard of it. So instead of spending tens of millions of dollars on marketing, it's getting it in the store, the distribution, and finding the right location. And the right signage is very important. We were just talking about that today. It's at Sam's Club, making sure we have the right signage and the right positioning, and that's real important. And sampling, letting people try the product, and
that's part of what these road shows are about as well. You have samplings for that. Yes. So do you go to some of those too?
I've been to every road show, so I've been.
That's really cool. So you're
right. I think I've been to.
You're out grassroots hustling it.
Grassroots hustling. I've been.
That's cool. I like that a lot.
3 times to Dallas. I've been here. I've been to Las Vegas. So of the 40 stores, I've probably hit 25 of them myself, and actually worked them. The full day, 4 days.
That's awesome.
I don't work out during those days because I don't need to. It's pretty.
You are firsthand seeing what customers are thinking about it.
You have to do it because you have to understand what you have to listen to them. You have to listen to what they're saying, and you can't do it if you're not right there on the ground.
So why are you doing it as opposed to just sending somebody out to do it?
Well, you do both, because I get to listen to guys like Adam that's in the field, and he'll give me ideas, and then I'll have a different perspective. So I'll go down there from a ownership's perspective and have a different idea. So that's why you have to be down there.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, so on that note, how important is it for owners to make sure that they don't become disconnected from their product or their customers?
Well, I can tell you can become disconnected quickly. Yeah. And you just can't. And it does. And it goes from a small business to a major corporation. Major CEO. You have to be connected. If you're not, you lose it, because you got to remember your customer is, the customer isn't with you, in your office. The customer is down on the floor, right? And they're the ones that are going to decide whether or not you're successful or you fail, right? So, and if you're not listening to them, it can go pretty quick. Yeah. So, and there's always competition, but we've never been afraid of it. We take it head on, and we feel we beat them. So, and we do it by just sheer hard work and focus.
Yeah. So what do you guys do to keep a relationship? Yeah, you get them to buy the product, but are there things that you're doing to maintain and continue to grow that relationship?
Well, we're trying to get emails as much as we can. That's why the online process is so important, because we can send them offers, and it's kind of like something I learned from the casino business and started it, long time ago, with a player's card where you keep track of their points, and where they live, what kind of machine they like, when they play, time of day, and then you can send them an offer, and it helps build your database. So this is the same thing, we want to get more into that as well, knowing, who our customers are, where they're from, what their demographics are, where it sells better. And we understand it. We've made a lot of mistakes early on because it's new. But we're figuring it out, and we're real excited about it. I think, this product, we want to, 10 years from now, we want it to be huge. We want it to be all over the country, maybe even before then. So, but it works. So that's the main thing. It's a good product.
That's great. What's your favorite? I mean, you're doing the testing in the store. You're very hands-on with your brands, which is very cool. But what's your favorite part? What's the most fun and rewarding part for you? I know that you're doing big things. So what do you enjoy? Did you actually like giving the samples? Like, what's the simplest, most enjoyable part for you?
That's an easy question.
Yeah,
it's making the sell.
Yeah, there you go.
That's an easy question. I mean, because you start and you every person that walks by, you hit them up, and you kind of have to play. It's kind of like Tom Brady. You read the defense. Yeah. Kind of go out there and read, and as they approach you and. What you say and how you say it depends on how they react. So it's like Tom Brady walking up to the line and looking at the different defenses and saying, well, I'm going to have to adjust my offense, the play, because I have a different defense. So it's kind of the same process. Yeah. Buyers are all different, but you can't get discouraged because you're really, with a product like this that's new and has people don't know about, most of them say no. Okay, so you can't get discouraged. You just got to do the volume game, and every new sale is a new sale. So forget about what happened, a minute ago. This is a new sale. You approach it new. You never know if they're going to buy, and you never know who's going to buy. So you have to approach everybody. That's why I tell people, it could be somebody that looks like they could never afford it, and they could be your biggest customer. Yeah. And I learned that in the hotel business. I learned that in the casino business. You never prejudge people. So if they walk up, they might look super sharp in a tie, and they could be your worst customer. Yeah. Somebody else might walk up and be dressed differently, and they might be your best customer. So you can't predetermine your customer.
That's awesome. So you're having fun even with each person walking by.
Yeah.
Do they know it's your product?
I don't tell them. Sometimes I do, but I usually don't. I just usually don't. Maybe I should more often. I'd probably get maybe I can get more sales.
But you really want to know what they think. You really want to know what they think.
Yeah. Because they'll sometimes it's good just to sell them.
I like that. That's so cool. I love that approach. So, you talk about thick skin. Have you always had thick skin that way?
Yes, I've always had thick skin. My mother taught me that, and my father taught me that. Yeah. Before he died. I mean, you don't want to get abused, but it's sales is hard. I mean, sales, you got to have it in you. Yeah. Or some people it's not for everybody. So there's different positions for those people. But I've always cherished it. I've never been afraid of it, and I understand that if you have a new business, particularly this, that nothing else matters really. I mean, there's other things that matter, but in reality, nothing else matters than sales. Because if you're not selling your product, you're not going to be around. Right. So you have to have that mentality, and the people that work for you have to have that mentality. Yeah. So it's all about sales. When we go through a weekly call, it's the top 20 accounts. Why aren't we selling more here? Why are we selling more here? And then the prospects, and it's what it's about. Yeah. Because you can have a pretty bottle, you can have a pretty good-looking guy, good-looking girl selling it, but none of that matters unless they can sell. So, right. It's about
for your team.
Deal.
I mean, you're very specific in how you sell, and it's all about how do you choose? What are the qualifications that someone on your team has to have? Because you've got a vision that's pretty specific.
Yeah, they can't be shy. Cannot be shy. They also can't be obnoxious. Okay, they can't be. They have to respect the customer. Respect each person that comes up to them. Don't joke around. Just ask for the sale. Engage with the person. Get a feel for them. Like I said, read the defense. Read them a little bit, and then take your time with them. I don't have as much patience as I used to. So I'm more of a, quick sale. There's people that work for me that are probably better salesmen than me because they have a little more patience and they can explain the product. And I'm usually like, here, try it. But that's just me. But you look for people that are well presented. Okay, personal hygiene is important. And they can speak, they can talk, and you don't want to overdo it with people, but you got to ask for the sale every time. Ask for the sale, at least, show them the case. So put it in their, so at least they decide,
Yeah.
But don't let them go without at least asking for the sale or giving them a card to buy it online, or because you never know.
Right.
Maybe they go in their car and they said, I didn't think I'd ever need this, but I know somebody that struggles with hangovers. He needs it.
Right.
So it just, when you're in a store, you got to hit up everybody that walks by. You just got to ask them because you never know.
That's awesome. I love it. Anything else you want to share? I want to plug your product again.
Well, it's Never Too Hungover. We're at Sam's Club. We have you can buy it online, nevertoohungover.com. And we're in 5 states. It's a healthy alternative to, or not a healthy alternative, it's a healthy product that helps you when you're drinking and helps prevent a hangover. And, it's a new product. When I talk about it becoming, we're just kind of on it's a new category.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of competitors. A lot of them have fallen by the wayside. We're the leader. We're the country's leader, and we want to stay that way and just keep pushing it.
What gives you that confidence? I mean, so many businesses or so many brands are so scared of the competition. I mean, petrified of the competition. Either they try to ignore it, or they try to emulate it, or they make bad decisions out of fear.
Well,
how do you stay ahead like you do?
Well, you don't get too caught up with them. You caught up in them. I mean, there's so many. I ignore a lot of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I know the ones that are out there that have a little more pizzazz, have a chance. It's important to have capital. We have lots of capital behind this, so we're not going out of business. We're not.
Right.
This isn't. So that which is real important. We pay our bills on time. We pay our employees on time or early. We're never late, and so capital is very important. And good luck if they want to compete with us. Bring it on.
You're ready. You're
ready.
Awesome. George Maloof, thank you so much.
You very much.
Do you have an NBA team coming up on the horizon for your portfolio?
Well, we had that's a great business. Like I mentioned, we had the Sacramento Kings, which was a great experience for 17 years or 18 years, and that time passed, and we have great experiences with that. We're bringing a hockey team to Las Vegas.
Cool.
Right now, my brothers secured a hockey team for Las Vegas called the Golden Knights.
That's an NHL team?
Yeah, NHL team.
That's
so
cool.
we're part owner of that.
That's awesome.
We're real excited about that. The Golden Knights, our partner is Mr. Foley, Bill Foley.
Yeah.
And so we start playing next October. It's something new for Las Vegas. It's another new historic event that's going to happen in Las Vegas, and we're part of it. We're really excited about it. And, in life, you just keep trying to do better things, right?
Cool. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. George Maloof, thanks again for being our guest. I appreciate you.
It's a great show.
Awesome. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Business Leadership Series, where we engage with leaders who are making an impact on their worlds and who want to share their knowledge and experience for your personal and professional growth. This interview was designed to inspire you to become the best leader you can be.